After 25 years, I ended with my sports and began unhealthy life. Lots of alcohol, cigarettes, unhealthy foods. My weight was about 100 kilograms, and when I was 32, I changed my life. So I began running. So because it's easiest way to lose the weight.
Did you ever think that you would become an elite runner? Did that idea ever cross your mind that you would one day break world records when you first thought, I'm going to try and lose some weight and I'm going to start running?
No, actually, no. I thought that it will be my hobby.
Before we get into today's conversation, I want to invite you to become one of the founding members of the Endurance Lab Inner Circle. I've created the Inner Circle to give you a way to help shape the conversations I have on this podcast. Before I record with a new guest, I'll let you know who I'm speaking with and what we're planning to explore, so you can send me the questions that you want me to ask. You can also tell me what topics you would like to see explored on future episodes. Now, I'm starting this completely from scratch, so if you're one of the first few people to join, I'll be able to follow your questions and ideas very closely. And while we're still a small group, I'll be in there with you, reading the conversations, replying where I can, and getting to know what you actually want me to explore on the podcast. It's completely free, and we're hosting the Inner Circle on Telegram. So if you'd like to be one of the founding members, you'll find the link in the show notes below. Click the link, tap join, and I'll see you on the inside. Aleksandr, you have broken many world records. For the 100-kilometer record, you ran it in 6 hours and 5 minutes. And for the 100 miles, you broke it in 10 hours, 51 minutes, right? And that's 4 minutes per kilometer pace. And you have also broken the 6-hour record, the 12-hour record, and the 24-hour run records, where you run a crazy far distance of 319 kilometers in 24 hours. That's all really amazing. But there's something, about your story that I find actually more interesting than the records themselves. Firstly, you didn't start running seriously until your early 30s. That's what I understand. And secondly, you only broke those records in your 40s. Somehow you continued to get better and better through your 30s and 40s at a time or at an age where most elite runners are starting to slow down. So what I really want to learn from you today is, how can the average recreational midlife runner like myself, that's 48 years old, can actually get better as we get older? And what we can learn from someone like you, who only started to peak in your late 30s and 40s. So can you take us back to the very beginning of your running journey? What was your life like before you actually started running?
Now, actually, in the art, I was a sportsman. I was a kayaker. No, kayaking, paddling, yes. I was like a pro athlete until 25 because my father was, he is a coach of Lithuanian national team, Olympic kayaking. So I didn't have had another way. So after 25 years, I ended with my sports and began unhealthy life. Lots of alcohol, cigarettes, unhealthy foods, and my weight grows up until 100 kilos. Sometimes I go to gym or little jog, but after all, my weight was about 100 kilograms, and when I was 32, I changed my life. So I began running. So because it's easiest way to lose the weight and just go out and go. And after few half marathons, I understood that just running not interesting, and I am afraid back to my bad habits. So I need to find the goal, and I found it when I walk in my native town Vilnius. I found invitation for 100 kilometers Lithuanian championship. So I decided to race them, began preparing. Uh, until that point, I didn't know about ultra running at all, just running a lot. And race day, I finished that day, the race. About 1 or 2 weeks, I can walk normally. I had painful everywhere, but I was very happy in my head because I did a huge job. maybe that day I in love in the sport, and little by little my results grow up. So one day it was after pandemic. So pandemics helps me to be a pro athlete because my job was closed. I put everything on sport, so I saw my results goes up, and little by little, one world record, second one was broken. So I want to say my my probably my peak form was about 40 years old, but in ultra runnings, so actually everything's little pushed a little older year.
It's hard to imagine that you used to weigh 100 kilograms. Looking at you now, you're one of the best ultra runners in the world. When you first started, right, when you were 100 kilograms, I'm guessing you were very unfit then. Can you give us an idea of what kind of pace and distance you could run when you first started? What were your first few runs like? We want to see like how far you came from that journey of starting at 100 kilograms to where you are now, breaking world records.
Actually, I don't remember correctly, but I can run 10 kilometers easy pace. So for me, it was not hard because in years kayakers do a lot of running sessions, skiing sessions. So just my body just remember that sport. So about pace, I don't remember. I remember my first 100 kilometers was 8 hours and 37 minutes. So actually, first, first the result grows up very high. First half marathon, it was around 150. After that, 130, and until 4 minute pace. It was about 1 or 2 years of training. After that, you need
Okay.
to change your training session to do intervals and other things to grow up.
At 31, 32 years old, when you started running, did you ever think that you would become an elite runner? Did that idea ever cross your mind that you would one day break world records when you first thought, I'm going to try and lose some weight and I'm going to start running?
No, actually, no. I thought that it will be my hobby because I like it. But I understood that I can run a lot, not fast, but a lot. And I wanted to try myself in 24 hours because first years I ran only 100 kilometers. But I understand that for 100 kilometers for me it's I'm too slow for these distances. I think in this World Championship, for example, in September, several guys will broke a world record. We'll see. But in 24 hours, I think my main distance is the 24 hours. But
Okay.
with ages, I understand that my speed go down. I want to go to longer distances. For example, 2 days, 48 hours, 72 hours, maybe. We'll see. For now, my head don't take it, those numbers for now, but we'll see.
When you started running, how long before you started to see really good progress? When did you really start to get faster yourself?
Mm, maybe after, like I said, about after three years, I
Okay.
saw my result was growing every time, but I understand one day I understand that I can be in European Championship, for example, in 24 hours in top 10. So it was 2017, maybe 18, when I won a Spartathlon. Maybe you know Spartathlon,
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
race in Greece from Athens to Sparta, running 246 kilometers. Very beautiful race. In 2017, I won it, and after that, I understood that I can reach bigger goal in 24 hours. And next year, 2018, I won first bronze medal in the distance. And after that, I decided that I can something in this sport.
Apart from running itself, were there any other factors, like maybe strength training or mobility work that was very important in your development as a runner?
I like cross training. For example, after the season in winter times, I like skiing, cross country skiing. Not from well, uh,
Yeah, yeah,
swimming, biking. I go to gym, but I do a little stretching. But I'm sometimes I'm lazy to do other exercise except running. So I must
yeah.
do more. But I like to go to the gym, work with heavy weights, squats, core, maybe legs, other no other specific for runners exercises.
You started pretty late as a runner. You started in your 30s. Do you think that starting to take running seriously a bit older actually helped you?
I don't know. Maybe everything goes in time. So if I began, for example, from youth, it was too noisy for me, and I finished around 30, for example, 32, and don't reach ultra running distance at all. Maybe I ran 10 kilometers, for example, 21 kilometers, and I don't reach longer distance. But in when I was 32, I was like a man, like a wine. Don't rush. I can uh, let me more because ultra running lot of time. You need to run all day, not all day, but many hours. So if you want to run ultra running, so you need to live on foot, like yeah, I don't know, 4 hours per day, 5 hours per day in running. So actually, for now in sport camp, I live like running, eating, sleeping. That's all.
Mhm.
I don't do anything.
You are 45 years old now, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, 44. In
44.
this
Okay. Sorry.
world championship, I go age from 40 to 45 next year because 10 days before my birthday, I will be 45 in 10 days. So, ah,
You achieve a lot of this great results only in your 40s, right? But sometimes people think that when they hit their 40s, that's when their performance would start to come down. Do you think that there's still room for improvement for someone in their 40s if in the past they didn't train properly? If you're using your sports watch or a generic formula to calculate your zone 2, there's a very good chance that you're not training in your true zone 2. And that's not because they are intentionally doing anything wrong. They simply don't know your individual physiology, so they estimate your training zones using population-based formulas. The problem is that if your zone 2 is estimated incorrectly, you can spend months or even years training in the wrong zone without ever realizing it. And that's a much bigger deal than most runners think. Zone 2 isn't an arbitrary heart rate. It's your own individual physiological tipping point where your body reaches its highest rate of fat oxidation before it starts relying heavily on carbohydrates. That point is different for every runner, and it also changes as you get fitter. So no generic formula can tell you exactly where it is. Which means if you're training from estimated zones derived from formulas, there's a good chance you're not training the energy system you think you are. Below your true zone 2, your body adapts to become better at burning fat, building the aerobic base that supports everything from endurance to speed. Drift just above it, and now you're training your body to rely more heavily on carbohydrates instead. That's not a bad thing, but it's a completely different adaptation and not the one you're aiming for. For years, I've used heart rate to measure training intensity, but heart rate is influenced by things like heat, hydration, caffeine, sleep, and fatigue, just to name a few. Then I thought lactate was the gold standard until I realized that lactate also changes depending on glycogen availability and your nutritional state, making it just as inconsistent as heart rate. That got me thinking that your breathing is one of the closest reflections of what's actually happening metabolically because it's driven by your body's physiological response and not easily influenced by those external factors. As exercise intensity increases, your muscles gradually shift from burning more fat to burning more carbohydrates, which produces more carbon dioxide that your body has to remove by increasing your breathing. That change in ventilation happens at your own individual physiological thresholds and not at a generic percentage of your maximum heart rate. That's why learning about the VitaPro from TimeWare was such a breakthrough for me. Instead of estimating training zones from generic formulas or indirect markers, it measures your breathing in real time to identify your own individual physiological thresholds that are not influenced by external factors. If you're serious about building your aerobic base, improving endurance, and making sure that every zone to run is actually doing what it's supposed to do, I think it's well worth looking into. TimeWare is giving listeners of the Endurance Lab podcast $100 off their pro training membership when you use my link in the description with my code ELABTW26. And if you'd like to understand the science behind it all, check out my full conversation with TimeWare founder Anar Larosan, also linked in the description below. Do you think that there's still room for improvement for someone in their 40s if in the past they didn't train properly?
You can begin any age. I think you have a 70, you can begin. Of course, maybe results not be perfect, but sport it's alive because if you sit and don't run, don't do any sport, so it's a very worst way for your life because everything is you functionally not good. So you need to sport. Sport in your life must be all your life. Of course, maybe on 70, 80, it's a little less, but you need to move your body all your life.
I agree. Can we talk a bit about your training and how it has changed over the 10, 15 years, right? Let's start with volume. How did the volume change over time from the time that you started running until what kind of volume are you doing now?
Actually, I don't remember correctly how many kilometers I did per week. For example, when I began, it was around, I think, 80. Maybe in the beginning it was 60, maybe 80 per week kilometer. So little by little, I increased until 100, 120. In my peak years, I grow up until 300. If I run 300 kilometers per week, in it's good. It's good. If I felt good, I see my body in the shape. So actually, my the gold weeks, peak weeks to 50, 300 kilometers per week. So actually, I do many long runs. I do per week 2, 3, maybe 4 long runs. It must be until 30 to 50 kilometers. 2 intervals, for example, 10 times by kilometer, 6 times by 2 kilometers. It's a main
Mhm.
training session. And other runs are recovery runs and just easy runs. Sometimes I do very short, like 100 meters maximum my speed. So, but my main training session is the long run from 30 to 50 kilometers. I don't do very long training session. For example, other guys I saw on the internet, they run 60, 70, 100 kilometers per training session. For me, it's too hard. For me, I don't want to run it.
Okay, so you split up that distance. So you rather do a few
Yeah,
30
yeah.
to 50 kilometers in a week than to do one big 70
It's very
kilometer run,
yeah, it's
for
very
example.
noisy. I don't like run more than three
Yeah.
hours. It's very noisy. Of course, you can run, but it's hard for your bodies, for recovering, for other things. So I for now I think not good for you because it's a very long recovery session. And you can broke your bone. Like for me, because I had three three times in a row in 2024 mm, stress fractures. So actually, for now,
Oh,
I understand that my body getting older. I need to go down my mileage. Another thing, my body don't spend recovery really good, but like
So are you struggling a bit with recovery now? Is it starting to become a bit more difficult to recover?
yeah, I understand that I must do more recovery session, more maybe rest days. For now, last week was 306 kilometers. For now,
Okay.
today is Monday. I wake up, go run. I understand that I need to rest. My body says me, no, 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 not today. Come on. My plan was to do 35 kilometers, but I did only 22 and back home and go sleep. I don't know. Maybe I'm too old for this shit, but I need to go to World Championship 100 kilometers, and after that, I think it would be my last short ultra distance. After that, I say goodbye for 100 kilometers and go maybe if my body gives me a longer distances.
You talked a bit about intensity just now. So you said that you did some 10 by 1 kilometers or 2 by 6 6 by 2 kilometers. Over the years, how has your intensity changed? Did you put more focus on intensity when you were younger, or are you putting more focus on intensity now? So how has that changed for you over time?
Yes, maybe I little change my tactics. In the beginning was only I think only long running sessions without uh, sharp ones. After that, I changed a little running tactics, training tactics. I did shorter distances, but sharper ones. For now, it's
Hmm.
like mix of them. And for now, I understand that I can run long, how many kilometers I want. I run 60, 70, but slow, but my speed go down little by little. I need to focus on sharper intervals. For example, for now, I do uh, 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers faster, like I did before 5 years ago. For example, we can take a time. I run running session around 3 minutes and 20-25 in peak form 5 years ago. For now, I try to do those sessions faster, to do 3:15, 3:10 per kilometer. So of course I'm struggling, but I know that I need to do fast session because my speed goes down. I need to push it a little.
Yeah, that's one thing we struggle with as we get older, right? The speed kind of goes down, or just the absolute speed that we can run. Do you think your training is a bit more conservative now than before? Are you now starting to try and be a bit safer because like you said, your recovery is a bit more challenging?
Maybe yes, maybe a little, a few percent, but until now I know that world championship is coming. I need to a little suffering. After that, I will have a rest. I know for now I need to work a lot, run a lot. Of course, for me, maybe for now it's harder, but but not really. Then 1-2%. I understand that. I all trainings. If you take 5 years ago for now, every time it's struggling because I don't like run slowly. If I go on training, I need to go. If I finish training without struggling, it's not training. So actually, it's my main mistake. I think I need to go sometimes more for recover running, but I don't like it. I need to push myself.
Okay. When you look back over the years of training, do you think you improve more when you train more miles or when you actually structure your training better?
I think for me, mileage is the main thing. If I reach 300 kilometers, I understand that my body is the shape. For me, mileage is the main thing. But we were very individual. So actually, for one guy, it must be 200 kilometers per week. It's enough. For me, 200 not for not good. I think, but
I see.
to see what happens for me in 200 kilometers, I need to change everything on my training tactic, training sessions. So for me, it's too late. I think maybe next life, maybe next life. But if I if I had to choose next sport in next life, so I'll choose not running. Maybe chess, chess. Maybe I don't know. That
Okay. Okay. So earlier you said that you were at your peak at about 40 years old. Is that correct?
yeah, 40 42 when I beat all records. Actually, I want to
Okay.
say, but that for now I'm lose something because last year we ran with Adidas 100 sub six. So actually, it was not official race. We ran with unofficial shoes. We had drafting car before us. We running 100 kilometers, and Thibaut ran sub six. It's not official record, but that day I reached an official world record too. I ran 6 hours and 4 minutes, of course, with drafting with
Okay.
unofficial shoes. But I felt that day that I can not maybe beat a world record in official race, but will be very close, around 1 minute, I think.
So you're still kind of at your peak at the moment,
Yeah,
right?
yes. I hope now training and after that we'll see in World Championship. Of course, World Championship it's not for maybe more for a result, maybe more for a tactics. You run for a first place, not for to reach a world record. But nobody knows. It must be good weather, good look, other things.
Yeah, a lot of things can happen. Are there any things that you think that you are better at today as a runner than a few years ago when you set those records?
For now, I'm thinking, but that I'm in several parts I'm better than I was, but I was younger. For now, for example, for now I'm lighter than I was 5 years ago, around
Okay.
5 kilograms. So it's maybe gives me now I'm a little more stamina, maybe more I can reach that pace when I was 5 years ago, but I'm older, so maybe those things keeps me the same the same shape. We'll see. We'll see.
How heavy do you weigh now?
Mm, I'm actually I'm heavy for average guy because
Okay.
every time my fight all my sports life was fight with my weight. So and now my weight around 70 kilograms. So my height is 177. So actually I must be around 65. But after kayaking, kayaking sportsmen must be with big muscles. And
Yeah.
for now, when I'm staying in start line before between runners, so I'm actually like a big guy.
Most people listening to this podcast are going to be somewhere between 40 years old and 60 years old. And most of us are experiencing physiological decline because of aging. And I know we touched on this a bit earlier, but in your opinion, as we get older, what can we do better so we can still see improvements in our performance?
I think, like I said, we're getting slower years over the years, but still endurance keep your body to run slower but longer. So, like I said, I want to go
Hmm.
to 3 days or on the running backyards maybe, but backyards it's a crazy crazy race because you need to run without sleeping. Mm.
I think it's important that people listening to this conversation that they do not think that in order to improve, they need to be copying your training, right? I don't want them to think that they need to copy the training of a world record ultra marathon runner to see improvements. So if someone is listening, they have a full-time job, they have family, they have kids, but they want to run maybe a faster marathon. What do you think they can learn from your journey and your training philosophy that would help them to still continue to improve?
First of all, you need to love what you do. The main thing. If you like it, you can reach a good result. Little work, little love. Uh, don't do holidays of your sport because you need to run every day. Not every day, of course. Maybe 3 times per week, but without big holidays. Don't run like every time the same pace. You need to change your pace. You need to run on all zones. So little by little, increase your mileage. Little by little, run faster day of the day, and you can reach your goal. So you can run marathon, for example, for 3 hours. It's I think it's every second man can do. But you need just love what you do. It's the main thing. Because if you fight every day with yourself, I don't want to go, but I need. It's not good for you.
Is it more important for you to train to heart rate or to pace? Which is the metrics that you focus on when you're training?
For me, it's a. I see good when I in good shape when pace and pulse in balance. So actually, if I see for example my pace 4 per minute per kilometer, 4 minutes per kilometer, and my pulse goes until 120, 125. I understand that I'm in good shape. My heart system and my body shape in the balance in the good shape. So yes, it's a sign, just a sign for me. For everyone can be other one, but you can see when you run in pace, for example, 5, you have the same pulse, lower pulse. It's the main thing, I think.
So it's 120 pulse for about 4 minutes per kilometer. That's for you.
Yeah, it's a good, but yes, not easy because my pulse is very slow, low.
Okay, okay,
So actually, for if I have a pulse 155, I need to work very hard. For example, until
okay.
around 90% for my ability. So if you see in my posts, in my stories that, for example, I run with pulse 140, I struggling now. Uh, if I have a pulse 140, 145, I'm struggling when I run.
Okay, just the last few questions before we land the plane here. If someone listening today is over 40 years old and they think that their best running years are already behind them, what would you say to them?
You can find other goals. Uh, you can just enjoy your life, enjoy your pace. If you don't want to, if you understand that your best years back, so just find other goals. You need to find other motivation because when people live without goals, without motivation, not life. You need to have a goal. Just find it.
Alexander, my final question for you. What does endurance mean to you?
Endurance for me, it's a second thing of my life. First one is my wife. The second is endurance. If I send the first place endurance, my wife kill me. So I just say like this.
Alexander, we wish you all the best for your European Championships. Thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.